My name is Wakooli Godfrey Matembu, and I represent the people of Butiru County in Manafwa district. You have asked me about the loan we have just passed of seeking the approval of Parliament to borrow up to 168 and so euros. I want first of all from the onset to state that I think what we have done lies squarely within our mandate, and therefore as members of Parliament we have fully fulfilled our constitutional and statutory responsibility. When we come to the loan, of course you heard so many people talking about technicalities. I want to agree that there are concerns, especially when it comes to borrowing in the previous times by government. But you see, when you are borrowing, it's not that all loans are bad. I want to say that members' concerns are legitimate, and I think moving forward as Parliament, we really need to look into how these loans that we acquire are going to be used efficiently. I can give you an example that for me, I'm a businessman, but many times I operate on borrowed money. So it therefore means not every borrowing is bad. Now, you have talked about our farmers. It is very critical, especially when you are dealing with matters climate change. Where I come from, I am a representative from Bugisu sub-region. And I can tell you, Bugisu per se is blessed with fertile soils. Bugisu heavily depends on rainfall alone. And therefore, our people have really, in previous times, incurred losses due to prolonged dry spells, but also effects of climate change. So for me, as a representative of the people, I think this is very good news for us. And more so that this is an affirmative loan, which is targeting, supporting coffee farmers. And I feel that an investment in irrigation systems is, I think, not optional. It is a necessity that everybody should appreciate. And if we want to achieve agro-industrialization and food security, I think this is very important. And I can also point out examples. When you look world over, there are people who talk about Israel being one of those countries with arid conditions, but it has been, there's a time, it was actually, I think, seen as the world or global agricultural example, because they have really achieved from the benefits of that type of investment. When you go to India, these people have cut costs of fuel in production because they are using solar. When you go to Morocco, here in Libya, before the demise of the great man, Umar Gaddafi, this man had turned the economy, but what was he using? He was using irrigation. I think even when you go to Kenya here, when you go and look at what President Ruto was doing with the Kalan project, for us, at the border we used to sell our merchandise, our beans and maize to Kenyan. Kenya has no longer come to Uganda to buy because of that deliberate and intentional project that was implemented by President William Ruto, and it is supported with water. So I want to allay the fears of the public, and more so our colleagues who were opposing. And for me, you saw I stood so many times because I also wanted to contribute, because I know that our people need water. And if we want to align with the government strategy or agenda of the parish development model, I think this is very important, and I believe people are going to increase on productivity. People are going to cut on the costs if well implemented. Of course, now as Parliament, previously we were not doing our work as Parliament, but the Speaker promised us that the committees are going to work, and therefore want to believe that Parliament, through its mandate of oversight, we should now look at oversighting such critical projects so that we can spur economic growth and development in this country. I thank you.